Okie dokie. I think we're pretty good here. Going live. Okay, cool. Well, welcome you guys to Thursday, and hope you guys had a productive week so far. Um, we are gonna go over some tech stuff, answer any questions. So, like always, I'm Jason Orban, and it's always good to say that kind of stuff whenever you're doing a video or live stream or something, just to let people know who you are. You guys all know who I am, though, but for anybody watching, um, let's just keep going. Okay, so I see Sam's with us today. We got Ross and Judy and Michael. Awesome. So let me know what questions you have. Raise your hand and um happy to answer anything we got going on. I don't really have any updates. It's been kind of a weird, fast week. We got a big launch we're doing with a customer running Facebook ads and AI and a bunch of other stuff so we haven't had a whole lot of chance to do any updates on our end, but but looking forward to seeing how I can help you guys out today. Sam, did you have any questions today or you're working on anything? Oh, so you're muted or maybe my audio is down.
I can hear you.
Can you hear Sam?
No,
I can hear you guys. I just can't hear Sam.
can't hear Sam.
Ross, did you have any questions today?
Um, yeah, I guess two. One,
Okay.
I guess, do you have any videos or training on getting A2P verified? I know like with the recent changes, it's seems like it's a little bit harder to do, so didn't just trying to figure out how to get through that process easily.
I've heard, I don't have I don't specifically have videos, but high level does have, I don't know if you've gone through the high level docs on how to set up do A2P. They keep them pretty well updated with all the changes. I'm going to throw it in chat. There's a couple different there, and then there is some best practices they have as well. I think it's the big things are having your two opt-ins, one saying I just want to receive regular messages, then also one saying I want to receive marketing messages. And then the other thing with that, making sure that you have a terms of services, terms and conditions that you can link to on your page. I don't think the little disclaimer at the bottom of the form is going to be enough anymore. I think you need to have the terms and conditions that you can lead people to. And then
Like in the header at the top, you're saying?
yeah, like in the footer of a form. So in in our restaurant snapshot or the reward snapshot, um I think it's in like the restaurant and those ones. There is a terms and conditions that's just super generic. We've used it for like a ton of funnels that we built because anytime you do like Facebook ads or anything like that, you're driving traffic to a page, they want to see terms and conditions and privacy policy and stuff like that too. So if you ever have a problem with ads getting approved and they're not being approved, it could be because you don't have like terms and conditions and like a Facebook disclaimer and stuff on those pages. So what I put in I haven't updated it. I actually haven't done an ATP registration for a little while, but we have to do them we had a bunch of phone numbers in sub accounts from before, but anything that was, I think, anything you purchase after like March 1st or something like that in Canada needed to also be ATP registered. Um, whereas in the States, we've had to do that for a long time now. So if we take a look at A2P, oh, this is the workflows. Those aren't super necessary, but you need to have the opt out information. Here's a funnel here: A2P compliance, general opt in. You can update this page, and then on this page, I think we only have uh one button asking for the opt in, but we should add another one in there. And then we do have this information here, but we also have a button link for terms and conditions, which will take us over to, I don't, yeah, that should update here, and then you can update this one in here too. Just make sure you change the the name and change the address and stuff. I actually have a Google Doc. Here's what I'll share with you guys. I have uh I have a Google Doc that has terms and conditions that I will share. And this is in like terms, or it's like maybe it's privacy policy, Facebook disclaimer template. I will share this with you. So I kind of have some like this is kind of like an SOP thing we have here. So you can do a find and replace. So Control F, and then you can go find and replace. So anything that says like info at Catalyst Crafted Ales, you want to replace that, and then you put like your email at whatever.com kind of thing, and then replace all kind of thing. So I kind of have a little bit of information at the top, replace this business name, replace this with that, replace address with the company address. And then you can copy and paste this into, a funnel page or template or something like that and use that as your privacy policy. If you guys want, I'll share that with you guys.
That's awesome. Thank you, Jason.
Anyone with the link can not edit, but you guys can view it. And then let's hit done, and then I'll just share that again, copy link. So you can use that. Again, I'm not a lawyer, so I grabbed this from other places on the internet. And I've pieced things together over the years. And this generally works for compliance when you want to I've used it for A2P a lot, and I've used it for Facebook ads, and I've used it for a number of things. So if you want it, just go file and then make a copy. And then when you make a copy of it, then you can edit it and change it however you want.
It's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, that should help. And then if you go to you, if you like, there's got to be more A2P registration video high level. If we just do something like this, do Google, there's Sean talking about things. Um, I would do like something that's the newest ones you can find. Here's ones from 2 months ago. Nothing over 2 months, maybe 3 months. How to set up A2P verification, a high level step by step. There's some good YouTube videos on that already. Just make sure you do something that's relatively recent. That way, you're getting the most recent information. And what I've heard in the group is um, if you follow like the step by step and kind of do things as best you can, you're way more likely to do it. Now, if you're just setting up a demo site, you can set up a sole proprietor. Now they got rid of it for a little while, but then High Level like campaigned on behalf of everyone and got it so that you can do the sole proprietor registration again. And if you're just doing a demo account, that might be the easiest way to go and do it. So if we go to phone numbers, let's probably have to look up Trust Center. I forget where. Um, Trust Center and like the regulatory bundles. Um, do start registering now. Uh, yes, it's in US or Canada. You can say know the business I'm registering does not have a tax ID. So then I think it will let you put the name of your business in. So let's go restaurant demo. Restaurant demo. Or yeah, whatever. Restaurant rewards. Or actually, you can just put your first and last name. So Jason Orban. So if you're doing a sole proprietor, I think you can just put your name. It won't really matter. It's just going to be under your name when it gets registered, especially if you're just doing a demo. So you're going to put your address in and then fill in your details here again with your phone number. Don't use so if you're doing a sole proprietor one, you can do up to 5 different brands with the same phone number. And then if your spouse has a phone number, you could put a different brand in there for the brand as well. So let's just go and click continue. Only one phone number allowed, increase delivery rate. So again, if we're just doing a demo, you can just do these two. I acknowledge, press continue. So then this is where you put your business name in for lead connector, business industry. This is the phone number that you're going to put your phone number in here again as well. So what happens when you do the sole proprietor one is they're going to send you a text message confirming that you approve the OTP thing, that it's an actual legit phone number. So you fill this information out, and then you'll get a text message on your phone that you reply yes with, and then it will confirm your sole proprietor setup. I don't even think I do have a phone number in here. Why don't I have um but I think this is because it's a demo, or it's not even the demo account. This is just our snapshot account. And I registered this phone number mm, like 2 years ago. So I don't think I have to do ATP just for testing it out with ourselves here in Canada. So it works fine. But if you're just setting up a demo account, it's easy to go the sole proprietor route. Allows you to send up 3,000 message segments per day, which a message segment is 160 characters. If you send out a long text message that's more than 160 characters, then high level may break that up into two message segments. So even be aware of that when you're sending messages out for your customers too, because if they have 1,000 customers and you send out a really long text message to them, that's going to cost you double per text message, right? So instead of being like 1.5 cents or 1.7 cents or 1 cent per message, whatever it is to send out, now that's going to cost you 2 cents per message. Which means for 1,000 contacts, that's going to raise your price from $10 for sending that message to $20 for sending that message. So that's why you just want to make sure that when you're sending text messages as well, that you just try and stay within that 160 character limit, or your cost per sending those messages is going to go up.
Got it. Okay, cool.
Hopefully that helps a little bit there. I have a few phone numbers that I need to go and get A2P registered here too, so maybe I'll record a video about going through it. I'm gonna go watch a couple updated videos as well because yeah, we're launching a couple new campaigns right now with a couple of our customers, and they need new phone numbers too. Some of them are for AI voice, which we won't need a voice A2P for if you're doing like voice or calling or anything like that. It's just when you want to send text messages to customers, you need to make sure it's registered.
That's great. Thank you.
Welcome.
I guess the last question I
Yeah.
had is, so I guess I'm pretty ready to start going live. So you think, I mean, to get started first time, just go out and I guess pop into some restaurants? Is that probably the
Yeah,
best?
you know what? So I know Chris and um Kimberly who've been on here a lot. That's exactly what they're doing. And that's usually what we do as well if we're going into restaurants. So when I was talking with someone the other day, and he used to sell advertising to restaurants for like posters and some other things that he used to sell. His recommendation was go in around 2 or 3 in the afternoon when the restaurants are kind of at that slow time in the afternoon, and then hopefully you can talk to a manager or someone there and set up a time. Don't usually try to go in and just pitch them as soon as you get in there. They're not ready for it. You're not ready for it. So what we generally try to do is go in and set up a just a phone call, like not a phone call, but try and set up a meeting. Now, if you want more stuff about sales, let's go. Um, Usually in the afternoon, or I think before 11 o'clock in the morning too, you could probably catch a manager in at that time. You just don't want to go during their high hours, right? When they're busy, when there's
Yeah.
people in there, that's usually between like 11 and 1, and 4 till 7 kind of thing. So if you can catch them in the afternoon, that's really good. And just usually I'd walk in and just say, hey, like, hey, we do restaurant marketing. I've got some really cool stuff I'd love to show you, ask them a few questions and then see if you can set up a meeting for like next day to come
Okay.
back so you can chat with them. I just put so for um from like I think June until December. So for about 6 months, we were running a thing that we called Agency Launch Lab. And then we just decided in, I think it was March, we decided that we weren't going to continue with it. Just there was hardly anybody showing up on the calls. It just kind of got everyone was busy, and then it took a lot of time because we were doing like 1 to 2 hour calls every Monday and Wednesday, and planning, and then doing a training every Monday. So that took a lot of work actually put that together, and we weren't promoting it enough to make it worth it. So we just kind of scaled back on it right now. But what I did was I just put all of our sales training from Agency Launch Lab into under Power Tools training and resources. So you'll have to go and subscribe to it, and then you should get an email on how to get in and everything. It's $0 here, so just put your email name, full name in, and then go to checkout. You don't need a credit card or anything. It'll just be free. You can go through, but once you get in there, we have let's go proceed to checkout. Yeah, I already purchased that offer. So actually, how do I get into it? I think it's like training dot ghlpowertools.com once you have access. So then you'll see Agency Launch Lab. And then here, so we've got planning, bucket lists, all different kinds of stuff, quartering planning. Then we've got a bunch of calls on training and resources, mastering the sales processes, messaging. And we mostly talk about restaurants in here. So there's stuff about content creation and a whole ton of stuff that we've done over the course of 6 months. I think we were doing a training every week. So there's probably at least 30 or 40 different trainings in here on sales, on whatever, and whole bunch of stuff. So it's super valuable if you want to take a look through that. That might help you too, because we do talk about mostly going into restaurants, chatting with them, and then seeing what's working, what's not working, that kind of stuff. Um, yeah, that's good. So yeah, typically what we do is just walk into businesses, start a conversation with them. You get better as you do it more. The more you do it, the better you get. The first couple times can be intimidating. But you'll find like once you start having conversations with them, almost everyone is pretty receptive and pretty open. If you've eaten there before, absolutely like start off with like mentioning the food, like how great the place is, how much you love the place. And then lots of times we'll say like, hey, like, we do restaurant marketing. We've got some really cool stuff that we put together specifically for restaurants that I think maybe could help you guys, or something that you guys might think is really cool. Anyways, and I'd love to come back maybe tomorrow if we can, and I can give you a quick demo of what we put together and how things work and how we can just help you get more customers and seats, you know? And a lot of the time, they're either like, they're like, yeah, that sounds awesome. Okay, well, maybe doesn't tomorrow doesn't work, but can we meet like 11 o'clock on Friday or something? Um, and then sometimes they'll just be like, we don't have a budget for it right now, but I here's my information. Like, call me in a month so we can set something up, or they're very receptive to it. It's not very often that you get people who are like, absolutely not, I don't want to. They at least want to see what you've got, and they want to hear what you put together, right? So it's a good idea to, yeah, just be able to go in and just try and set the appointment for like the next day or something, just so everybody gets in the right frame of mind, for that meeting. Because I don't know if you've ever been working and somebody just shows up, like somebody, or if you're working from home, somebody just shows up at the front door and then they want to talk to you about cleaning your gutters and whatever else, or changing your cell phone, and you're just like, I am not in the I am not in the right frame of mind right now for you to be selling me things, because I was in the middle of doing something, you interrupted my day, and now um yeah, anyways, it's stuff it interrupts your flow. So especially when a restaurant manager, owner, or something like that is in there and they're preparing for their lunch or they're preparing for their dinner, um, I like to just try and set up a meeting for the next day. I know Sam has a bunch of really good sales advice there too. He's done a ton of sales too. We've had some really good chats about that. Michael, yeah, so in our back end, it is under, you have to register for it first. So go to training and resources and you'll see sales training, agency launch lab. And I might see if I can change the page. So what happens if we go to, if I open up training.ghlpowertools.com. It'll ask you to sign in first. So this is after you signed in. This is the actual one. I'll make sure I update that page though, because so whether you have to register or you can sign in afterwards. That's the URL for it. Awesome. Sam, did you get your microphone working?
I don't know, do I?
Oh yeah, you did.
Okay,
Awesome.
good.
I heard you chuckle there so for a second, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back.
Yeah. Right on. What do you have going on? How have things been going?
Well, things are going very well, but and I really don't want to take up everybody else's time, but I just want to kind of review a little bit of what I'm finding in some of
Okay.
the links and stuff. And if somebody else has things they need help with, I'll wait. If not, I'll just take a few minutes and show you what I'm looking at.
Yeah, you go ahead.
All right, let me share my screen if you don't mind.
Sure. Go.
Let me put it back up. Um, well, where did I put it now? Share screen. I don't know where I had it, so I'll just put it right here. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
All right, cool. 5 Star Studios. And in the past, we've kind of struggled with some things to me were just more complicated, and my VA is still a good guy, just he's overwhelmed with some other things, so I really don't have a lot of help here now.
Mhm.
If I go into Azteca and I go into automations, and I want to go into VIP subscribers. So if we want to get people into the group, here's some of what I'm looking at. I'll pull it up here, and there's just a lot of stuff in here, and I'm not using most of it. And
It
kind
all
of
get it all gets used.
well, yes and no. I mean, are they a referral partner? I'm not even using the referral part of it. That's what I'm saying. So I'm just trying
Yeah.
to keep it simple. So from that standpoint, it could be used, and I understand that. But let me go back over here, and here's one. I just recently did this one,
Okay.
and to me, this is just so much cleaner and neater in my purpose. Now, if I'm using the
Sure.
referrals, and I'm using the other things, it would just make sense for me to do it this way and change some of the wording in here that says, it just lets me understand it a lot better. But then I'm a simple guy, so I've got to make it simple, you know.
Okay.
So is there any issue with me redoing this stuff? And then if I ever needed to add referrals, I could go back and do that?
Well, it doesn't just do referrals. It's so that it dynamically updates when you create a promotion for a specific campaign. So if you created a default promotional campaign,
Mm-hmm.
um, we have it built so that it'll automatically everything goes into custom values, and then the messaging and everything gets updated based on that, right? So that's why there's not a ton more stuff in there, but we do check to see if the customer is a referral, if they're a new
Okay.
customer, that kind of thing. There's no reason this what you have here wouldn't work
Okay.
um for that customer. Now, I will it update and everything when you create a different type of promotion in our system? I don't know exactly, but
Okay.
but
So
you're
let me
free to go and create so
let me
if
ask
you're
you.
using the default campaign and you have a form on there and then you want to have your own, welcome form and welcome
Mhm.
emails and stuff and do it that way, you can totally do it.
So let me ask a different, the same idea, but as opposed to doing here and where I create a new system altogether, if I go back in here into the default, that would be the one you set up. And if I don't want to do the referral, is there any problem with me just erasing that out of there?
No, you can. I mean, actually, in the newer funnels, I actually have the referral part removed from there and moved over to um after they redeem their first coupon to check to see if they're a referral. So we're not giving a referral bonus when somebody just signs up, but when they actually redeem a coupon. So that's been updated
Okay.
in a newer version than this one. But you can remove it. Um,
Well, and I don't know that I need to. I'm just trying to understand the system as much as anything.
yeah.
And there's
So
one other point. Let me get that
So
out,
we
and then
also
I'll shut up.
one other thing that we have going on in here just real quickly is
Okay, go ahead.
we check to see if they're a member or not, right? And then because you can say in our system in the system you can say if they're already registered for one promotion, do we want them to have access to another promotion? If they already registered as a member, do we want to, if one offer is free chicken wings to become a VIP member and they take that offer, and then we have another one that's like buy one burger, get one free, to become a VIP member and they re-register, do we want them to get the burger one as well? So we just have safeguards in there that you can decide to turn on or off. Yes, they can have multiple offers. No, they can't have multiple offers, that kind of thing.
One of the things I ran into was and again my misunderstanding, but uh, different sign-ins, the default versus some of the others,
Yeah.
would sign them in under either the VIP that would tag them as VIP. Other sign-ins would tag them as rewards.
Yeah.
And
So
so,
there's okay,
but
go
the
ahead.
problem I ran into then is so now if I go back over here and I check the condition, I've got to make sure I put both VIP and rewards. I'm just more comfortable if I've got everything in one place.
Yeah,
That
you can.
if everybody comes in, they always get the VIP, then I'm cool. Then I just know to look for the VIP.
Yeah, the
Uh,
reason why there's two different workflows for that is because some people just want to do reward points and some
uh,
people want to do promotions and some people want to do both, right?
right.
So if you have, they don't all use the same form. So if you have people register for the rewards program, they go through the rewards registration. And then if you have people register for the VIP specifically, they can go through the VIP registration. Um, and then you can tie them both in. You don't have to have people register twice, but that's why in the past you were getting some people because you were sending people to the rewards one, and then some people were sending to the VIP one, and you're sending to both. So it whatever makes the most sense for you. That's why the
Mhm.
workflows are here, and like
Right.
you can go and change them so that they still function, and they work for you.
Well, I guess my takeaway of all this is that I just have not spent much time. If I look at this just as a glance, it's overwhelming to me. But if I really take a little bit of time to get into it, then that's not so bad.
I try when we create our like different if conditions and stuff like that, I try to describe things as
Right.
best as possible so that you should be able to read it and say, okay, what is happening here?
Hmm.
So we say, are we allowing members to subscribe to multiple offers? Yes or no? Has the contact been referred? So instead of just, I've seen other workflows where they have the thing in there, but they don't describe what's actually going on. It's
Right,
if
right.
condition, and then you have to go into each one to see what's going. So I try to make it as visually make it so that when you look at it, you can read it and you know what's
Right.
going on.
Well, I guess bottom line is that I just need to go in and personalize it. I just need to study it enough to where I know exactly what's in each one. And if I want to
Yeah, and you know what? So
add a different tag, I can do that.
all the VIP workflows are pretty much all the same.
Right.
They're almost, so if you understand one, you're going to understand all of them. I think except for, like, I think the default campaign and the referral campaign have the
Yeah.
referral member piece in
Hmm.
there, and then the other ones don't.
Yeah. And
So,
that
like
was my
the
whole point.
in-house
This is
PVC stuff like that.
none of this is a major problem. I just didn't want to get in here. I'm just trying to get in here and simplify as much as
Yeah.
possible.
So also feel free,
Look
what
good.
you can do is you can duplicate the workflow, set the
Hmm.
original to draft, and create your own version of it, and then
Oh,
update
okay.
that.
Okay.
There's no problem with that. People do that all the time. So
That's a great
instead of
idea.
editing the original one, you can go in and create a draft of it, or create a duplicate, set
Right.
the original to draft, and then update away.
Yeah. And then I can actually come up here and change my naming convention.
Yeah, you totally can.
But because when I look at some of the stuff, it doesn't really show. It doesn't show the whole. It does here, but down in here somewhere, it doesn't show the whole thing. So anyhow,
Yeah.
I'll personalize it. But making a copy, I think that's brilliant.
Yeah, I think make a
I will do
copy,
that.
and that way you can update without worrying if you so another thing, when you're in workflows here, there's, see that little clock up in the top right corner?
I do.
That is your version history. So what's cool about that too is if you make any changes, high level tracks all those changes, and
Uh-huh.
you can revert back to an older version if you do something that kind of messes up.
Okay. Okay.
So I've done that before. I know I'm talking to a client and then saying this thing stopped. They're like, this thing stopped working. And I was like, okay, well, like why? And they're like, well, I don't know. We haven't touched anything. And then we go click on the clock there, and it's like, oh, they made an edit, they made a change, they made an edit. And I'm like,
Right.
look, you said you didn't change anything, but I can see that you were in here 4 times.
So my forensic analysis
Yeah,
is yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
This is what don't tell me you didn't change anything.
Yeah, and I've
I can see
changed
it.
some of the forms a little bit instead of full
Yeah.
name to first name, last name, and just
Yeah,
minor
you just
stuff,
want to
but it's
make
just
sure that when you do
personalizing it.
that, you just test it, right? Test it to make
Right.
sure that it's still, working the way you want.
Yeah.
And there's no problem going in and hey, if I know that I'm not using this, you can bypass it. Just know that if you try to do something in promotions later that maybe use that thing, it might not work. Kind of thing. So because we put everything through custom values and stuff. So there's a
Hmm.
few things in there that check custom values and the value of that value to see if like, so for example, if you click on are we allowing multiple or members to subscribe to multiple offers, if you click on that one, we check to the value of a custom value. The VIP promotions allow multiple offers is yes. So and that just comes from our settings so that we
Hmm.
can update the custom values. So
Yeah. What
but I
triggered
mean
me?
that ends up being like things we've added in because some of our clients are like, I don't want customer A to get offers 1 and 2. I just only want them to get offer 1, you
Right.
know, when they subscribe. Or the other thing is like, hey, if we see a Facebook ad and we subscribe to it and we get that offer, and then we go into the restaurant and we scan a poster on the wall that says become VIP, which is a different offer. Do we want them to have both offers? And some
Right.
people are stingy and say no, once they're VIP, they're VIP, we don't want to give them more offers. And some people are like, yeah, the more sales we can make, the better.
Understand. I just like I said, bottom line takeaway is that I just need to go spend a little bit of time in here and personalize it for the way I
Okay.
want it to be. So you've got everything built in, so it's going to be easy to just modify and get that like I want
Yeah,
it.
and I don't mind going over this stuff because I think everybody watching here too learns a little bit more
Hmm.
of
Hmm.
how things work. So
Well, I know it also helped me to go in here and, for example, the part here says yes and none. That confused me a second.
yeah.
So what does none mean? It means they didn't answer anything,
Yeah,
but
they didn't
so I would go in and
none
just
of
and change that to some other wording or
I
something.
think you can
So
just change it to no at the
yeah,
bottom.
yeah. I mean,
It's just
not a big deal. It's
it's
just
essentially that none of the conditions in the if condition were met, so then
right.
go down this path kind of thing.
So I might go in there and put it in. Listen, dumbass, no, they're not a member. Something like
Yeah. Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, that would
Yeah,
work.
but no, this helps a lot. So I
You're
appreciate it.
welcome.
And it's just a matter of taking a little more time and really getting involved in it.
Okay,
I
awesome.
appreciate it. That's all for me
You're
today.
welcome. Right on. Okay. Awesome. Well, I appreciate that. You guys, yeah, let me know if you guys are thinking about anything else. If you have any other questions about anything. I didn't get a whole lot of updates. Been working on a little bit of I'm actually working on a proposal for a client. Um, for review management, restaurant marketing and stuff like that. So trying to make something that looks really, really good. And then I'm going to share that with you guys. It'll probably be in the next day or so here with I'll have it for Tuesday anyways, and I'll share that out. Maybe we'll put in that agency launch lab, but some material on um a proposal. So I'm putting in, and it's specifically for a restaurant. We were talking with a client the other day. Um they've got a bar slash pub, then they have a fine dining, and then they also have a bed and breakfast. So it was when we had the meeting with them, the meeting was set up. I'll walk you guys through that. So it was a little bit um got introduced to the client, went to go have a chat with them, and I'm like, well, can you tell me more about your businesses? And he was like, no, I just want to know what you guys have, kind of thing. So I'm like, okay. We knew about their pub. We knew that they had a fine dining place, and then we knew of the bed and breakfast, but really no details about it. I don't think they're really doing any marketing. Their websites all needed to be updated. So really just took a look at did a little bit of, like, I'm gonna say, like, research as we were chatting with them about, how many reviews do they have, how many reviews does their competition have. We're doing it over Zoom because the contact is in California. No, yeah, they're in California. So we were going over Zoom. We took a look at it. What their reputation is like. How the places around them. What do they look like? How many reviews do they have? So it looks like they weren't really asking reviews. Some places had like 3,000 reviews around them, which is fun, which is interesting to me that we're at a point where people have been gathering reviews for quite a while. And now it's like, how can you have the most reviews? Not just reviews. Before it was like, okay, you just need to have reviews, right? But now, and in the past, if you looked at a business and they had 300 and some reviews, you'd be like, that's pretty good. But then you look at the next one in the map list and they've got 3,000 5-star reviews. So now you're like, oh, who would you go to, right? Do you want to go to the place that has, 305, like 4.5-star reviews, or 3,000 5.5 star, 4.5-star reviews? So that's where you're like, you need more reviews. So it makes it's just an interesting change that I've noticed in the last while as we're talking to more clients, and then comparing them to other people who have reviews too, but like they've been getting more reviews, so maybe they're more proactive about it or whatever. So we're pitching the NFC card and the tap thing because they're a restaurant, and we want to make them proactive about asking for reviews. So they're getting their reviews bumped up a lot. And then I mean, we have so much other stuff that we can talk about, but really, I just want to get them using the promotion system and creating like a VIP list, and then just positioning that as well, along with the idea of, now you have a list of customers that you can message anytime, right? You don't have to rely on social media because there's like, well, we have a social media person who's doing social media, and their social media is all right. Like it's they're somewhat active with it, but it doesn't help them with Google. It doesn't help them with customers who are coming in, just reminding those neighborhood customers because they're a neighborhood pub to just come back in. And I love what Chris and Kimberly put together. They showed it the other day. I don't know if I have a link to it anymore, but it was just a higher end restaurant, which they're absolutely loving the promotion system for. And but they're not doing coupons, which is perfectly fine. You don't have to do coupons all the time. The whole idea is just like if we can create this whole follow-up system that we're staying in touch with our customers, that's going to just help them boost sales, right? Because the most businesses don't do any follow-up at all. And that goes for like hair salons, that goes for any kind of service business. Restaurants have a hard time of it because they don't have the contact information. But with the VIP program and the the new tap cards that we have, that you can collect that information. Now you can reach out to those customers. So it's a really good way to change the dynamic for restaurants or retail too, where they typically have anonymous customers. So,
Hey, Jason, for
yeah,
that, do you have when you tell them like they can now that they have their list and they can, message the people? I mean, what do you do? Do you give them access to, give them access to high level and kind of show them how to go in and, I guess, do a message blast or like, because that's the only way they could really do it, right? Or
yeah. I mean, so we've set it up to. I don't have it live in I maybe I'll just add it and then it can be turned on. But you can have it send out a message like once a week at a specified time. you know, and then you could also make it so that your weekly messages get updated. So that actually just made me think of something. We could probably put something. I'm gonna think about it. Because we could probably have something to send a message out every Tuesday or something like that, or every Monday morning at 8 a.m. to your list. And the same thing that we do with reminders for our tech calls, you just have it set up so that a message will go out to people who are in that workflow. And every Tuesday morning at 8 a.m., it's going to start sending text messages out to everybody, right?
Jason,
What I just thought about is we don't have to have those scheduled. You can have those pre-written. You can have either like one message per week pre-written, or maybe there's a way that we can make it where you update those messages once a month, and this is going to be the week one message, week two message, week three message, week four message kind of thing. But you can set that up for you can have them cycle too.
can I make a comment on that?
Yep.
Is that Ross that was asking the question?
Yes.
yeah.
Well, Ross, if you're expecting the restaurant to go in and create these coupons and mailers, forget it. They're not going to do it. And if they don't do that, then they're going to be dissatisfied. Honestly, you can set it up yourself. Ask them what specials, ask them what coupons, get them involved that way. But then you actually go into the software and set it up and do it automated. Won't take you much any time at all, but that keeps you involved with the restaurant. In my opinion, this is not a set it and forget it completely. You need to be able to maintain that relationship with that restaurant, and you make sure that those things get posted at the right time.
Yeah. I've had both ways. I've had customers who are tech savvy, who are excited about it, and they want to be able to go in and play around and send out their own messages and that kind of thing. And then I've had people who are just they can be tech savvy, they just might be busy, and we're asking them to create a new habit where they're sending out messages weekly. And if they typically when we go in and sell somebody on this stuff, they weren't already thinking about it, right? There's a difference between having a restaurant owner saying, "Hey, I want to build a VIP list and send messages out to my customers once a week." They're going to be more proactive because they're out there looking for a solution and they're going to want to do it. Now, if we go in and talk to a restaurant and we're selling them on this system, they might love the idea, but they might really, really love it as a service instead, you know. So what that entails though is not a whole lot. It's like, you know, a 30-minute conversation with that customer once a month. What promotions are we running this month? You know, and then how are things going? Give them an overview, a review of how the promotions and everything, how many subscribers they got, and all that kind of stuff, once a month, and then you just go back in and you schedule. You take 5 minutes and you write 4 text messages, one to go every Tuesday, and send those messages out. You know, and then you schedule them. You schedule them for the month. You can do that. What I was just thinking, you can even go into snippets and have like week 1 message, week 2, week 3, week 4, edit the snippets, and then you can have an automation that will automatically send out those weekly messages. You just want to make sure that they're updated. But what you can also do is have, I mean, you could have 8 messages pre-written or something like that, and then just have the system go through and cycle through sending out messages 1 through 8, which would be like 2 months of messages, kind of thing, and then just cycle them. That could possibly work. I'd have to write out how to do it, but I think we could do it with a custom value to track which message we're on, which message we want to send out, and then have like 2 months worth of messaging pre-written for those contacts or for those customers, and then anybody who comes through. Just thinking in my head here, thinking out loud, I guess. Maybe I'll put that together and I'll show you guys we can do that on Tuesday, or maybe I'll put it together and then give you guys access to the workflow for it.
Okay.
One of
Yeah, that helps. I mean, both of you guys kind of answered it, and that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking. I don't think going in expecting the restaurants to that they're going to want to do this, but at the same time, there's going to have to be. I mean, if I'm talking about building a list, and the question then becomes, you know, okay, so now that we have this list, you know, what are we going to do with it?
Yeah,
So
so I'm trying to, as soon as we can make it easier to send that message out from the customer side, we can. Right now it is inside of I shared with you guys that PDF that I created for creating your first promotion and sending out a promotion. It has instructions in there on how to send an SMS and how to send an email. Um, I'll put that, make sure that's in training as well, um for that. But we have the step by step creating your first promotion and sending out to your list, right? So you can share that with your contacts. And again, it's really just, I know some of our restaurants are more tech savvy, and they're excited about it, you know, excited about the marketing side of things. And
Justin,
then a lot of them, most of them are just not.
let me give you one other suggestion, maybe.
Yes.
Ross, you've really got two ways of doing that. One is where you let them send out the messages. The other is where you send them out. So have two different prices on that. And
Yeah.
so if you
And
want me
that's,
to do it, but then here's the next step. But Mr. Jones, listen, we're just getting started with this. What I'm willing to do, if we can make a decision fairly quickly, is I'll be glad to do all the work for you at the other price, at the lower price. So it gives you a way to drop your value to close the deal
if you want to, yeah.
if you
Yeah,
wanted to.
you can do that.
That's
Yeah.
just a sales part of it.
It's
Just
kind of
a,
like a down sell kind of thing. If they're like, oh, I can't afford that and I don't want to do it kind of thing, then you can always downsell them and be like, okay, well, how about this? You know, if we, yeah, like you said, if you can make a decision quickly about this, you know, we can offer you the 297, and we'll manage, we'll create the promotions for you and send it. We'll make sure everything gets sent out, you know, at this price rather than the 497. It's an option anyways. It gives
it's
you
just an
some wiggle
option. That's all
room.
it is.
yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, setting up the promotions and sending them out or scheduling them to go out, probably in like 15-20 minutes, you can have a whole month's worth of stuff done. And if you have a VA, you can assign it to them to get that uh done up as well. Just it doesn't hurt. You know what we always say, reporting is so important for keeping customers around, just so they remember what's going on and that you're helping them and that here's the customers that we've had come in this month. Here's the estimated sales, the return on investment that you've had this month. Here's how many subscribers that we've had come like this month, kind of thing. And then this is how many messages we sent this month. So they get a good idea, and it doesn't matter what size the client, who the client is. Um, you need to do reporting for them in order to, especially if you're offering a service, to keep them around. It's just a great way to reduce churn, or else you're going to see, you know, they might not be using the system, or they're not as pumped as they were in the beginning, and then just decide, we're not really using it, and they don't even know. So you need to stay do a little bit of reporting that way, and it's not too complicated, but um, it does help
Jason,
a lot.
Jason, hi.
Yes.
I'm just wondering, pardon me, how do you do your reporting? Like, do you just do it on a Google Doc and send it out, or do you have something that you can automate it with, or
You know what really simple is, how do I do this? Who's sharing right now? I'm just gonna
Me,
you
get
or
everybody to
Sam?
stop sharing. I think it is Sam sharing maybe.
yeah, I am. Get me stop, or can you
Yeah,
stop me?
just yeah, I think I can, but yeah, there we go.
Okay.
How we do reporting, you know what? Sometimes we'll just go into the reporting dashboard and do like a 2-minute Loom video and send it over to them. that
Okay,
sometimes that sometimes a lot easier than um putting together like a PDF or document or whatever it is. Um you can just keep it simple. It doesn't have to be complicated at all. You can literally load up like the last 30 days of their campaign and be like, hey, just going over your stuff. Here's your numbers. Here's this. I want to show you this. And then you can send that over as an email, as a Loom. You can send it over for reporting. We've had other systems where we've had it set up to be a lot more robust and generate those monthly PDFs that send out to the people look at it. Um, I don't know how much they actually look at it. They know that they get the email. So if you can automate it, that's even better. But a lot of times for reporting, I know Chandel loves this and she put this system together, is she might even put together like a Google Doc that has some of their numbers and everything in it, send them the Google Doc and go over the Google Doc with like a 2-minute video that just shows them and explains what their numbers are rather than jumping on a call with them.
right.
But if you're going to jump on a call with them anyways, like if you're doing a service for them, it doesn't hurt to jump on, schedule a 15-minute with call with them once a month, to just quickly go over their numbers, but then also find out if they want to change any promotions or anything like that. Yeah, as if they want to change anything up. Yeah, no problem, Sam. We're probably gonna wrap up here right away as
Okay.
well. So, yeah, if
Talk
anybody
to you
else has
soon. All
any
right.
last minute questions, throw them our way and throw them my way and we'll get to it. Otherwise, we'll probably wrap up for the day and get back to doing things. Um, yeah. So
Yeah,
having
so
said
you
that,
jump on a 15-minute call, you were saying.
oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah, just jump on a quick call. Just jump on a quick call. I think I've said it like 3 times on this call already. Just like jump on a call with them, give them their numbers, show we've got that reporting dashboard for their promotions and stuff, so where it'll show you what they've done in the last 30 days, and then chat with them about how the promotions are going, what promotions do you want to run, what promotions do we think we want to run this month. Maybe you're
Right,
just doing one promotion a month, one VIP promotion a month, and you switch it up, right? Maybe you're like, this month we're doing 2-for-1 chicken wings, maybe next month we're doing get a free appetizer. So just figuring those things out, and then if there's any maybe if you're working with an event venue, then you chat with them, what events do you have coming up? And then feel free to like, if you're working with an event venue and you're going to start like posting all their events and stuff for them, maybe that's a different price, rather than just creating a promotion and sending that out for them. So it's just you have those options, and then you can play with your pricing a little bit. Again, your pricing doesn't need to be set in stone, and you might want to test. You might end up testing different prices with different customers just to see what customers are comfortable with and what people will pay. Because no one's going to know what the other person's paying unless they're maybe like a referral and they're chatting about it. But um um yeah, if you're doing more work, then obviously charge more.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like jumping on, having a good quick conversation with them.
Yeah.
Here, I'll tell you about your numbers. Here, we've had this numbers, we've had this, like we've had this many subscribers to promotions. We've had the top four promotions are these four promotions so far. This is your estimated return on investment because, you know, we've had 30% of customers report, back what they spent on their bills. And this is kind of what we're estimating for the month here. And then here's how many subscribers you got. So it just needs to be as simple as that, really. And then what promotions do we think we want to run this month? And this one seemed to work really well, and then you can change things up and cycle them or whatever. And then probably like a conversation with them. They may want to talk about other things going on as well. But setting up a system for yourself that is going to work for you and your agency is important as well. What does the flow look like?
Yeah, for sure. You have a system that lets the customers report what they've spent there?
So yeah, so we follow up when somebody redeems a coupon, we follow up with them with text message and ask them how much they spent on their last bill.
Oh,
And that they report if they put a number in, um, our system will take that number and then add that into the estimated ROI for total spend for customers for that. So that's all tracked too.
so is that automated that you
Yep.
send them a text message to ask them how much they spent?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
How
that's
do I
great.
get how do I get something like that?
How do you get something like which? Sorry.
The coupon tracker.
Do you have any of our promotion system or I know Nicola. Um,
I got an email for this meeting, so I jumped on it.
oh, okay. Yeah,
And
that's cool. So we have our loyalty and rewards and promotion system for restaurants and things like that. And where we can create coupons and everything for promotions. This is our weekly tech call. So we do two weekly tech calls every Tuesday and Thursday, and that's what you joined today. That's why we're just kind of answering a lot of like tech questions and chatting about that. But what a lot of people are using are I'll put it in chat here, ghlpowertools.com, which is our main system. Like it's a bundle of a bunch of our tools. And then we also have ghlpowertools.com/restaurant marketing here. And then this is our restaurant marketing system. Really good for restaurants and retails. And then we have it's set up for multiple industries too. So not just restaurants and retails. We also have like salon and spa, gym, fitness, home services. Here's a really good video overview of how the whole system works. But essentially, we have like loyalty points, cards, and promotions that we're doing for restaurants, and we have a whole promotion system built out with like a promotional hub where when customers subscribe to become a VIP member of that restaurant or retail store or whatever it is, they get access to this promotional hub, which can have event posts, it can have promos, coupons, and just info posts and things like that. And then inside here, this is like the reporting section that I was talking about. Oh, maybe that's not going to open up as a gallery, but we have a reporting thing here too. We'll show you your subscribers, your promos, how many people redeemed coupons. Right here in this section is how much people have reported they've spent and all that. So you can also create like membership systems too for like retail places, kind of very similar to like Panera has what they call a sip club, and they charge people $11 a month, and when they pay for that $11, they get free drinks when they come in to Panera. So you can create a system like that with exclusive offers, coupons, promos,
So
and things like that, and then charge customers for it as well.
can I use it as a directory?
We don't have it set up as a directory, but I know Michael and I have been chatting, and I've chatted with a number of people about this, is where you can create coupons for different businesses or
Right.
info posts for different businesses inside the promo hub. So instead of using it for one business, you could use it as like a community, say coupon book type thing, or events book or whatever. And then when you send out a message, you'd send them here and they could see, everything that's going on or get coupons for those different stores or whatever it is.
So the way it's set up now, it can't have multiple coupons for different businesses. It's just
Oh, you
for,
totally could. Yeah. You would just go in and create, you would run it yourself. Like you would have your agency run
Mhm,
it.
mhm.
And then you would just, every promo you create would be for a different business rather than a bunch of promos for one business.
Right.
Every promo would just be a different one. So you could totally run it like that already. Yep.
Very cool. How do I get my hands on this? Is there?
You just go to the link that I put in chat
Uh-huh.
right there. And then you can pick up like one license if you just want to do one thing, or you can do, if you join our GHL Power Tools, which is also has reputation management and reviews and a bunch of other tools for high level agencies. You get 3 licenses to start. And then if you're working with other businesses, it's $25 a month per additional license.
So if I already have Go High Level, do
Yeah, this
I?
just kind of goes on top of high level.
Okay.
You
So,
add this in on your high level. So in your high level your agency dashboard,
uh,
you'll put a custom menu link for Power Tools. And then in here you'll see the tools that we have, like video testimonials and all that kind of stuff in here. And then this is where you manage your licensing and your sub accounts and everything for your contacts.
okay.
If you want to, if you want to have like a more in-depth conversation and kind of go through things, I will drop my calendar here and you can book a quick chat with me and then we can go over stuff if you have more questions about, your business or how you'd use it or anything like that. I'm happy to jump on a call with you.
Thank you. Sounds good. Thanks.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I look forward to chatting with you.
Okay.
It's a really good system, and yeah, we've been using it this is what we use for marketing our clients, but then we also give the tools or sell the tools to other agencies as well who want to use it for their clients, and we're adding some new review stuff and AI things in here too, so it's pretty neat.
Mhm. Cool.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us today. Awesome. Sorry, you ended up catching us right at the end of the call, but that's cool. I'm glad I got you that link. So click on it, make sure you save it, and then book a time with me. And then, yeah, if you guys don't have any more questions, we'll wrap up for today, and we'll chat with you guys on Tuesday for sure.
Thank you, Jason.
All right, thanks you guys.